it's Pryde, and there'll be a new Tales from the Tragic Sip in just a few days. But in the meantime, some of you have been asking for me to read from my written work, so ask and you shall receive. Today I'm going to read from Monsters, which is a collection of short stories and poems. I'm going to read from the short story, The Cockroaches, the Old Lady, and Her Plymouth. The time and consideration the old lady took in parking far outweighed that which she put into her actual driving. Back and forth, jerk a few feet forward, jerk 2 feet back. Mona's stomach lurched with each leap. She thought about yelling stop and just getting out, and the old lady could continue on for as long as she liked, a demented pendulum. But Mona rode it out. It was a good minute of jolts and bumps before the old lady finally decided the Plymouth was situated well enough under the shade of an oak to safely await her return. "There," she said, as pleased as if she'd just called bingo at the church bazaar. Mona swore she'd walk across the Rockies in stilettos during a snowstorm before she'd ever get into a car with the old lady behind the wheel again. The car parked, the old lady remembered her original mission and was out of the beater, slamming the door. The force would have rattled hell. Like a demonic cocker spaniel in a desperate need of a pee, she bounded up the front steps. She didn't need a key. Windfall was a small town. Doors were left unlocked. Mona got out of the car and followed at a much slower pace. She knew what was to come and wasn't looking forward to it. Christ! What had possessed her to go to the old lady in the first place? When Mona entered the kitchen, the old lady, purse still slung over her shoulder, was at the stove, wooden spoon in hand, looking disdainfully at the contents of a roaster. Mona joined her and peered down at her creation. The gravy had cooled and a thin layer of fat lay on its surface, a blanket trying in vain to hide a cooking sin. The old lady plunged her finger in, piercing through the grease, brought her finger to her mouth and tasted it. A knowing look came over her face. She chuckled and dipped a spoon into the hapless sauce and held it up to Mona. "Taste it." Mona did as she was told. It tasted as sweet as a lollipop. "You used icing sugar," the old lady chided with a less than subtle satisfaction. "Don't you even know what's in your own kitchen?" Mona didn't. Hank did the shopping and most of the cooking. "Can we fix it?" "What should we do, Mona? Add vinegar until it balances out?" "No, we can't fix it. And besides, that roast is burnt to charcoal." The old lady let out a labored sigh. "I'll just have to fix Hank something else." She unslung her purse and handed it over. Then, after taking an apron from the wall and tying it about her waist, she began to move around the small kitchen with efficiency and purpose. Mona placed the purse on the table. "Do you want my help?" Silently, she begged. "Please say no. Please say no." The old lady chuckled. "Don't worry. I know what Hank likes. He likes my gravy best. No one makes it like I do. That's what he always says. And you're not ready for the recipe." In full mother-in-law mode now, she surveyed the kitchen, her eyes settling on a sink full of dishes. "Why don't you clean something while I work?" Mona said nothing, but turned on her heels and went outside. She opened the screen door wide and let it drop back with its own force. It made a small slapping sound, hardly satisfying, especially when compared with the power of a Plymouth store. She sat down on the porch, took out her cigarettes, and began to smoke. The sounds of the old lady at the sink, obsessively scrubbing away, mingled with the whispering wind coaxing the leaves to jump. Mona continued to stare out into the front yard. The beauty of the autumn day was lost on her. The whole town would learn of her error. The old crows would cackle in caw at this one. Caw and cackle they would. Just then a real crow flew overhead and let loose some hilarity of its own. It splattered on the hood and the windshield of the Plymouth. Mona found some beauty in the day after all. Alright, that's it. I'll see you soon. Bye.